countryside and to do things and so on and so forth, for them was essential, right? The sword and they beautified it. They beautified it in ways you cannot. They ornated it in a very beautiful way. They had pommels of that made it are gold, and they have those little things that come out of the pommel, the handle of the sword, made of silver and so on. So they just like what the Yemeni do with their jalbiya. Do you know what I'm talking about? That thing that the Yemeni put, the dagger that they put. One of the brothers, may Allah have mercy on him. Who was it? Tell me what's his name, Allah yarhamah. Omar. Remember him? The Yemeni brother who passed away. He was part of Apex for a while, from the very beginning. I asked him about the jalbiya. He said some people buy it by $500,000 to $1 billion. I said, what? I said, is that sharp? He said, it's very sharp. It's not ornament. It's not just ornation and so on. No, it is sharp, very sharp. Imagine. When I say something, no. So that's how the sword was for people. Just that. So Prophet was like that beauty? He said no. Prophet's beauty was just the beauty of him. It's appeasing. It's appeasing. It brings you awe, but it's not the awe that makes you fear. It's not the awe that makes you, it's the awe that makes you settle, makes you happy, makes you good. Awe for you. فإنه له المصاحف في سليمان السلام حدثنا النضر بن شميل عن صاحب بن الأخبار عن ابن شهاب عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وبذا كأن نصيبا في التسليم رجل الشعيب. That the Prophet was white, like he was made out of silver, and his hair was wavy. Right? Abu Hurairah, what's his name? Let's see if you guys remember. What's the name of Abu Hurairah? There are huge differences about what his name was. I'm serious. There are probably 7 opinions about what the name of Abu Hurairah was, but the name that mostly they agree on, is that what it is?
Muhammad ibn Ismail.
No, Muhammad Ismail is that Bukhari. Abdurrahman ibn Sakhar. That's good, mashallah. Abdurrahman ibn Sakhar. Where is he from? Where's Abu Hurairah from? From Yemen. That's good. When did he become Muslim? Khaybar. When did Khaybar happen? He came at Khaybar when the Prophet was in Khaybar and became Muslim in Khaybar. He became Muslim before that, but he announced it to the Prophet in Khaybar and he asked the Prophet to give him the spoils of war of Khaybar. But when did Khaybar happen? You're not even, I'm going to have a heart attack.
Maybe Imam doesn't work nice and look like kind of all this good information. Imam doesn't teach them maybe.
The teacher is not teaching them well. The teacher is not teaching them well. That's what it is.
I got it.
I'm gonna have a heart attack. 9 is too old. That's too late. 7. Khaybar was in 7, right? Khaybar was in 7. So mind you, the Ahzab was in what? So it just here's something that we all pay attention to in Syria. Right? Tie up one major event to every year. And you realize that that major event is surrounded by so many things in this year. It has a lot of things surrounding it. Right? So Khaybar was preceded by what? Say it again? Hudaybiyah. Hudaybiyah is preceded by what? Ahzab. Right? And Umrah al-Qada, Khaybar, Umrah al-Qada. Right? Prophet Hudaybiyah happened in 6, Khaybar happened in 7. In 7 also, Umrah al-Qada, the Prophet could not do Umrah in Hudaybiyah, so he did it when? The next year. Right? Khaybar, and what is it called? Wadi Usud or what is that? It's called Wadi Usud or Wadi. Right after Khaybar, Rasul went to another. Right from there, from Khaybar, he went down, a couple of, 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers down to Wadi Qura. It's called Wadi Qura, the valley of Qura. It was this huge Jewish community in there. And most of the spoils of war that happened in Khaybar happened from Wadi al-Qura, not from Khaybar itself. Khaybar itself was just like a lot of land. It was land. From there, from Khaybar, the Prophet ﷺ got the land that he had, that he had for himself. It's called Fadak. The land that Prophet ﷺ had in Khaybar called what? Fadak. Right? Remember this Fadak. We're going to come back to it. The Prophet ﷺ had a land in there. It was very decorative. It had a lot of great. It yields tremendous amount of yielding every single year. Tremendous amount. The Prophet ﷺ was rich before Fadak and even richer after Fadak. Right? So when people say the Prophet was poor, no. The Prophet chose to be poor. Whatever he had, he gave it. But his income was high. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was rich, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, but he gave it all, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to take from him. So what did he say? حدثنا قتيبة بن سعيد قال أخبرني الليث بن سعد عن أبي الزبير عن جابر بن عبد الله أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال. So Abu Hurairah became Muslim in 7. He stayed with Prophet for around 18 months. That's all he stayed with Prophet. And then he was Prophet because he was poor in his situation. He was in the masjid. He could not find a job. He stayed in the masjid for a long time. And he would go to people to feed him and whatever the Prophet would get him would share with him and so on. And the Prophet once tells him, whatever. I think you should, get a rope and go to the forest and get some wood and sell it. That's better to you than just sitting in the masjid and asking people to give you and so that's not righteous. Go ahead and do that. He was young and so on, and he was young and he's finding himself, he moved out of Yemen. He was poor and destitute, and the Prophet is teaching him how to be independent, he's teaching him how to not rely on people just, and so on. We're going to see some of that. And teaching him how to be a man. Because a lot of people who are around the Prophet of Islam are starting to find themselves. They need to learn how to deal with things, right? They need to learn how to change from the habits that they had from before. It takes them some time. You know what I mean? A lot of young men and women around the Prophet of Islam had issues with them. Right? Sayyidina Abu Hurairah was this, and the Prophet corrected him, and that's that. And that's why he sent him to Bahrain. He sent him to Bahrain to be a mu'adhin in Bahrain. When Bahrain was open, he sent him there to be a mu'adhin so he can get some income. Right? And so he sent Sayyidina Mu'adh to Yemen so he can get some income as well. So the reasons he sent Sayyidina Mu'adh to Yemen, right? Because Sayyidina Mu'adh had a problem with money. He was too generous and he just let go of every single thing, and he had a lot of debtors. That the Prophet had to seize all his wealth so he can take care of the debtors. Sayyidina Mu'adh radiallahu anhu. Right? So those things don't make the Sahaba bad. They showed us the growth, how the companions grew with the Prophet, how he dealt with some of their personality traits that might have an impact on their families, might have an impact on their, and so on and so forth. Right? So, but Sayyidina Mu'adh is the carrier of the banner of the Prophet ﷺ, the banner of the scholars in the hereafter. It doesn't take away anything from his status, or to take anything from the status of Abu Hurairah or any of the companions. The fact that they have certain things that they dealt with that the Prophet corrected doesn't take away from them. Absolutely. So this is it now. So he stayed with him with around 18. Most of the hadith that Abu Hurairah narrates, he didn't narrate from the Prophet. We should know this. The scholars of hadith are in agreement on this. He narrated most of what he narrated from the companions. He narrated from Umar, he narrated from Abu Bakr, he narrated from a lot of Sahaba. He heard a lot of Sahaba. He would go to Sayyidina Abu and ask him about this, he would go to about this, and the Prophet made dua for him so he can remember. And that's how it was. Right? He remembered. Right? And the companions in his time and the early time were not concerned about narration. The narration started happening at the time of when the Prophet Umar died. In the second part of Sayyidina Uthman, narration starts coming out. A lot of narration starts, and people start narrating more and more and more. But before that, there wasn't much narration. There wasn't the people. Sayyidina Umar prevented Sahaba to narrate, right? Only few, appointed few to narrate, not everybody. So people won't get confused, won't find that the hadith, contradicting and so on and so forth. You need them to focus on the basics, right? Because a huge number of people are coming to Islam. حدثنا قتيبة بن سعيد قال أخبرني الليث بن سعد عن أبي الزبير عن جابر بن عبد الله عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Sheikh, we need to stop.
Yeah, inshallah. So So there's tea and coffee ready.
Yes.
But I mean, in your hadith, going to your hadith?
Finish this hadith and we stop?
Yeah, inshallah. And then, so just brothers and sisters, we are not taking coffee or tea or, mashallah, blessed, beautiful cookies outside. I recommend them to be shifa and healing. So outside in the hallway, we can eat and drink. Don't bring any tea or coffee inside the masjid. You're just 10 minutes, inshallah, after this hadith.
I think we'll stop again.
Yes,
Hadith is a little bit of explanation.
Okay, up to you, we have time. Because, and then until 1:30, on 1:30 will be the, inshallah, dhuhr. We have a good 1.5 hour, maybe 1 hour, 15 minutes for second session. Maybe.
Okay.
Inshallah. When you start, you have to okay.
اوكي بسم الله. حدثنا قتيبة بن سعيد قال اخبرني الليث بن سعد بن الزبير عن جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله تعالى عنه ان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: عرض علي الانبياء فاذا موسى عليه السلام ضرب من رجال كانه من رجال شبهته، وعلى رايت عيسى بن مريم عليه السلام فاذا اقرب رايت به شبه عروة بن مسعود، ورايت ابراهيم عليه السلام فاذا اقرب رايت به شبه صاحبه يعني نفسه، ورايت جبريل عليه السلام فاذا اقرب ما رايت به شبه لحيته.
On the authority of Jabir ibn Abdullah, the Prophet.
I will talk about Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah later on, inshallah. There's a lot to be said about Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah from the young Sahaba. He narrated a lot as well. He narrated more than 1,000 times. He narrated probably, how much he narrated? Probably a little bit more than 1,500, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit more than 1,500 hadith. Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah. Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah ibn Haram is the son of Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Haram. He was limping and he died in Uhud. Allah Ta'ala mentioned him in Surah Al-Ahzab. من المؤمنين رجال صدقوا ما عاهدوا الله عليه. From among believers, there are men who fulfilled their vow to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, that which the covenants they had with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. From among them, some who died, and some among them are still alive. The Prophet ﷺ said, those who died, told Sayyidina Jabir, your dad is one of them. The Prophet ﷺ told Sayyidina Jabir, because Sayyidina Jabir was very sad about the passing of his dad. He left him so many sisters and they were young, and he was young as well. We'll talk about him later on, inshallah. He said to him, he was sad of the passing of his dad. He said, your dad did something unique. Allah Ta'ala brought him in front of him when he died. And he said to him, servant of mine, what is it you want? What is it you want? Right? Sayyidina Jabir, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Haram, the Prophet said about him, the father of this man. He said, he died in Uhud. He said, Allah brought him in front of him and he said to him, oh servant of mine, what do you want? He said, oh Allah, I want you to give me back my life so I can go back, so I can die for your sake. Okay. You didn't ask for the dunya. Jannah is right there. Jannah is right there. This is real love of Allah. This is real love for Allah. This is real love. They were not interested in just go to Jannah and enjoy. And rest. And just enjoy. Let me go back again. And let me die for your sake again. Let me die for your sake. You understand what I mean? This is what love of Allah Ta'ala looks like. We want Jannah from Allah Ta'ala because He wants us to ask for Jannah, for sure. But is there anything beyond Jannah? Is there anything beyond? Allah is. We love Him. Let's say. There is no Jannah. And there is no paradise. There is no Jannah, there is no hellfire. Would we worship Allah Ta'ala or would we not? Would we worship Him or would we not? Should we worship Him or should we not? Should we be grateful to Allah Ta'ala and thankful to Allah Ta'ala and show our gratitude to Him and our love to Him regardless of what He gives us and doesn't give us? That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. We celebrate Jannah because Allah wants us to celebrate it. He spoke about it in the Quran. And we elevate it and we'll never undermine it. Right? But at the same time, وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Sure. وَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. Akhirah is khair and everlasting. But Allah is khayrun, is way better. Right? Who are the best people in paradise? Who are the best people in paradise? It's not the people who spend their time in Jannah, they're going in Jannah for sure, they're going in Jannah, but the people who are gazing at Allah Ta'ala's countenance every moment. Every moment, every moment, every moment. That's their joy. Their joy is not the food, it's not this, it's not that. That's all good. But their joy is that they are with Allah and they're gazing at His countenance. That's what it is. We ask Allah Ta'ala to grant us that with His mercy. Allahumma amin, Allahumma amin. So, continue.
The prophets were presented to me, and there was Moses, peace be upon him, a specimen of the men of distinction, as if he were.
Change that in your books. Some books are the books of Holland. Please change that to translation. Here, the translation is erroneous in here. The prophets were presented to the Prophet. The Prophet is a question in here. They read about Sayyidina Musa in the Quran, they read Sayyidina Ibrahim, and say, they would look like. They were inquisitive. And that inquisitiveness is fine. So if your children are inquisitive, don't shut it off. Just let them ask. It's okay. Whatever they want to ask, how Allah looks like, and don't say, be gentle, be nice, right? Talk to them in a way that they can understand and so on, right? So they ask them, how is it Musa? This has no bearing. It was mentioned more in the Quran than any prophets, than Ibrahim, and all of these prophets. So the Sahaba was inquisitive. They were curious. How do they look like? So the Prophet said, okay, well, Musa was like a man from the tribe of Shanoah. Shanoah is a tribe in Yemen. From the tribe of Shanoah, tribe in Yemen, they have distinctive physical features. They were dark skinned, they were curly haired, and they were strong, tall. Right? That's how they were. That's what Musa was. You wouldn't think that Sayyidina Musa was dark, right? But he was dark skinned, Sayyidina Musa. Right? And he was, taller, and that's how he looked like Sayyidina Musa. And then he says,
I also saw Jesus, son of Mary, peace be upon him, and the nearest I have seen in resemblance to him is Urwa ibn Mas'ud.
They all know Urwa ibn Mas'ud. Who's Urwa ibn Mas'ud? In Hudaybiyah, Quraysh sent 2 men to negotiate with the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet camped in the camp of Hudaybiyah. The first one they sent is Urwa ibn Mas'ud. Allah mentioned him in the Quran. وَقَالُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ عَلَىٰ رَجُلٍ مِنَ الْقَرْيَتَيْنِ عَظِيمٍ. They say, why would the Quran be sent on the greatest man of the 2 tribes? Who is this man? Who is the 2 tribes? Quraysh and Thaqif. Quraysh and Thaqif. Right? And he was the greatest, most respected man, leader of both, is Urwa ibn Mas'ud. Right? And well known, very well known, and a poet, and so on and so on and so forth. Right? And they all saw him in Hudaybiyah. So he said, Jesus looked just like Urwa ibn Mas'ud. Now they know Urwa ibn Mas'ud, just like him. The Prophet should describe Jesus to us. He has a lot of what do you call them? Huh? Freckles or freckles or khilan. Khilan is like it's in the tip of my tongue. Sorry, spent a year in Morocco. I forgot my English. It's like the black dots that you find in the bucket. Malls, a lot of malls. A lot. It says Sidna Isa has a lot of malls.
I also saw Abraham, peace be upon him, and the nearest I have seen to him in resemblance to him is your companion, meaning himself. I also saw Gabriel, peace be upon him, and the nearest I have seen in resemblance to him is Dihya.
Dihya could be with a Christian and became Muslim. He's from that Christian Arabs from northern Arabia. He was really handsome, extremely handsome. Sayyidina Umar used to say to him, put a veil, man, put a veil. I'm serious. He used to say, put a veil. He would say, put a veil, this is too much. You're going to have people drop left and right. The hair can go a long time. The Prophet loved him so much. He used to gift the Prophet, especially when we see that later on, inshallah. I suggest to finish this book quickly, this chapter quickly, and then we're going to حدثنا سفيان بن وكيع ومحمد بن بشار بن واحد قال اخبرني يزيد بن هارون عن سعيد الجريري قال سمعت ابا الطفيل يقول رايت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وبقي على وجه الارض احد رآه غيري قلت صفه لي قال كان ابيضا ريحا مقصدا.
Sayyid al-Jariri said, I heard Abu Tufayl say, I saw the Prophet ﷺ, and there is no one left on the face of the earth who has seen him apart from me.
I'm sorry, I forgot something. Before I got to this, Abu Mas'ud. Abu Mas'ud was one from Al Faqruhum. Him and what's his name? The one who argued with, the one who negotiated with the Prophet was Abu Mas'ud, and the second one is Shamail ibn Amr. Both of them became Muslim. And the Prophet gave them from the zakat, even though they were rich. Right? From the Mu'allaf al-Qulub, he gave them. Suhail ibn Amr became great Muslim. He became a believer. Right? That's it. Some of the elders of Quraysh, they become Muslim, but they're right there at the borders. You know, they grew up on Kufr. They fought cross Muslim all the way. So, our Prophet became Muslim here. He became Muslim. Right? But I just wanted to mention this. I'm sorry. So, Sahib Jurek mentioned that. Abu Tufayl.
I saw the Prophet ﷺ.
Abu Tufayl said, Abu Tufayl is the last Sahabi to die. Period. From the generation of the Sahaba, the last one to die is Abu Tufayl. His name is Wa'il ibn Wafil al-Layti. His name is Wa'il ibn Wafil al-Layti. Write it down if you have it in the book. I don't know if you have it in your commentary or not. But his name is, he was 8 when Prophet passed away, and he lived a little bit more than 100 years. Right? So he is the last to see the Prophet, and he's the last to die. He's the last to die. Wa'il, W-A. Put a dash on the A. Put a dash on A makes it Wa'il. And apostrophe I, L, or E, L. Ibn, right, B dot. Wathila, W-A dash T-A, Wathila, T-H-I-L-A, right? In the Imam Ghazali's copy, the copy that you have, the green one, you probably have some commentary in there. I'm not sure. If somebody can read, do you have, if it's not too long, can you give them the, see what's going on there? Do you have, can you give them the mics, okay. Give it to somebody who has the book. Ladies or gents.
It says, he is Amr ibn Wathil al-Laythi, Abu Tufayl. He lived to be 107 to 110 years of age, and so was the last companion of the Prophet to die. Abu Tufayl's statement, there is no one remaining on the face of the earth today who has seen him besides me, refers to the Prophet.
Yeah, so that's what it means. That's what I mean, sorry. حدثنا, so he said Prophet and he said he was white and he was مليحا. مليح means, how do you translate مليح? Handsome and
medium sized.
medium sized. حدثنا عبد الله بن عبد الرحمن حدثنا ابراهيم بن الحزامي حدثنا عبد العزيز بن ثابت حدثنا اسماعيل بن ابراهيم بن اخي موسى بن عقبه عن موسى بن عقبه عن قريب بن عباس قال الله تعالى ما كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ابدا الثانيه اذا ذكر اليه كالنور يخرج من بين الثنايا.
Ibn Abbas said, Allah's Messenger ﷺ had a gap between the medial pair of teeth.
Did you know all his teeth? There was a cliff. They were clipped just like baby teeth. That's how it was. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He didn't have a gap and all the teeth are together. That wasn't the case.
When he spoke, it seemed as if light were emerging from between his middle teeth.
The Prophet was visible to them. It was visible. The Prophet when he spoke, it was like it seemed like light is coming out of his mouth. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So they've seen these miracles. They have seen it again and again and again and again. Right? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And where is that light for us? Where is that light for us? Right? They've seen that light. But what is it? In two things. The first one is in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second one is more important, is in the heart those who inherited it from the heart of those who inherited it, of those who inherited it to the Prophet. That light did not go away. That light did not go away. It's in the heart of the awliya. It's the heart of the salihin. The heart of the people arifin of billah ta'ala. That's in their heart is that light. Their words become light for us and healing for us and so on and so forth because they are heirs of the Prophet. It is not the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so encompassing to the level where it's not to the level where not only the first generation will benefit from that light. All of us can benefit from that light if we tie up ourselves to the awliya of Allah, the salihin, and so on. That's how it's supposed to be. Right? That's how religion was. Until, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم اتنا في الحسنه وفي الحسنه الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد وعلى اله وسلم. Yesterday we have our sister Amal Qasir is a poet, very famous and accomplished poet. We would love if she can have something with us to with the Prophet ﷺ. I would love to have somebody who has a beautiful voice who can do some na'at for us, inshallah. It would be great, inshallah, to start one of the sessions to start some na'at with, inshallah, with it. And we do some nasheed as well, inshallah, before hadith or before, so at night, inshallah, before we leave. We do some just like the salawat on the Prophet. So if you have somebody that you can call it, that you can tell us to do some, that would be great, inshallah. This is the time.
What time, inshallah, I'll come back? Maybe 12:30?
Okay. 12:30?
Yeah, 12:30, we'll start.
Okay.
15 minutes.
15 minutes is good.
So, brothers and sisters, tea and coffee outside and cookies, you can help yourself. Just don't bring in the message.
Not even 20. It catches up to you, man. Oh, right. It catches up quick. Get around. Assalamualaikum. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, it has been a couple of years. Yeah. Staying busy. Still looking out this like. Yeah. Thanks. No, I'm just busy. He's good. The first time, being supposed to. Wow, yeah, that's very good. Yeah, saving the best before, Nice. But usually virtually, so in person is much better. Yeah, you get distracted. It's way easier to focus. Get distracted. Yeah, you're online. Exactly. Yeah. You're never giving that complete attention. Yeah. The person. Sadly, I'm working tomorrow at a morning shift, so eventually we'll have to spend today I'm on. Last night? I was also working like I don't know if it's supported or not, but it's good. Were you last night here? My wife tells me it's not babysitting, it's really kids. That's what she says, yeah. That's what she tells me. But it still feels like it's that. I'm like, I don't know about that. It's more like babysitting without parents. I guess it demeans what they do, right? Yeah. How many kids have? Me? I have 2 step kids and then 2 biological kids, so 4 family. What's the age range? 17 to 3.
I remember seeing that one time. You followed your photo shoot one time somewhere. You know, you're taking pictures. I think the cinematographer a long time ago.
Sorry?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we used the cinematographer. Like we were like in session after you. It's our families in the distance.
You didn't come say hi.
Well, I thought you saw me, and then I was like, kind of waved at you. You kind of waved back. So I don't recognize me.
Okay. Yeah.
Want some tea or something?
Yeah. It's much better to be in person. I've always wanted to go to the whole
Oh wow, there you go. I know.
Assalamu alaikum. If you have not registered already, if you could please go to the registration desk and pay cash or card. We're accepting inshallah, or pay online with the ticket system. Just please register. We also have 4 more copies left of the Shamail book, and then we're sold out for the weekend. So I have the red book. If you don't have a Shamail book, you can come to the desk. We're selling those. We have 4 more left inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, you can come into main musalla, finish your coffee and cookies
15 minutes later.
outside, and then Brother Irfan Malik, I invite Brother Irfan Malik to say for us some Urdu, inshallah, nasheed. Please, can you tell me, do we have any here, Arabic nasheed, can say that? Do we have, and we can inform each other.
From Nadeem. Nadeem is good.
Not very, but Urdu again, I think.
No, it's
Yeah.
good news to be
Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Mustafa Nurul Huda, Ya Mustafa सानी तेरा कोई नहीं शम्सुद्दुहा बदरुद्दुजा शम्सुद्दुहा बदरुद्दुजा सानी तेरा कोई नहीं या मुस्तफा तेरा कोई नहीं शम्सो दुआ बदरुद्दुजा शम्सो दुआ बदरुद्दुजा सानी तेरा कोई नहीं या महके बदन हरदम तेरा तेरा कोई नहीं कौन करे शफात मेरी कौन कहे उम्मती मेरा कौन करे शफात मेरी कौन कहे उम्मती मेरा शाफाए हो रोज़े जज़ा शाफाए हो रोज़े जज़ा तुम सा नबी कोई नहीं और जाए कहाँ हम बेनवा आका तेरे दर के सिवा जाए कहाँ हम बेनवा आका तेरे दर के सिवा हम बेकसों का आसरा हम बेकसों का आसरा या मुस्तफा कोई नहीं या मुस्तफा नूरुल हुदा सानी तेरा कोई नहीं
MashaAllah. Allah Akbar.
Alhamdulillah, sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Allah Ta'ala reward you, Allah Ta'ala access you, jazakallahu khair. We now understand the language, but the language of love is universal. It touches your heart even if you don't understand. You don't understand the words, you understand it comes from the heart that is loving, and the words are about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, it touches you no matter what. So jazakallahu khair. You can tell, you will see that every tradition had honored and venerated the Prophet ﷺ in its own way. That's central in every Muslim culture. In every Muslim culture, they kept their religiosity, they kept their Islam because they venerated the Prophet ﷺ, and they manifested that in many ways. Through calligraphy, through chanting, through textile, you have no idea how much people love the Prophet and express it in ways you cannot imagine. Our Islam will be poor if we don't celebrate the Prophet. The mistake that we make in this country is that we focus on fiqh. We focus on the scholastics, what I call the scholastics. The scholastics don't build. We got to focus on the love of the Prophet, the love of Allah Ta'ala, on suluk. That's the core that we have to focus on. And then the ilm comes to help. The ilm is a helper. Right? The ilm will not be beneficial to you if your heart is not attuned with Allah. It will be a testimony against you. Right? Look at every verse in the Quran. When Allah Ta'ala mentions Banu Israel, anytime He mentions that we gave them ilm, they become always in disagreement. It's amazing when you think about it. Like, think about it. We give them ilm and then نختلف. You know what I mean? Like, we give them knowledge and then they right? And then they disagree. And so on. So we have to it's a helper, ilm is a helper. But the core of it is al-ilm billah. The core of it is knowledge of Allah Ta'ala, is love of Allah Ta'ala, is love of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So, جزاكم الله كل خير. باب ما جاء في خاتم النبوة. حدثنا قتيبة بن سعيد حدثنا حاتم بن اسماعيل بن جعفر بن عبد الرحمن قال سمعت السائب بن يزيد يقول ذهبت بي خالتي الى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قالت يا رسول الله ان ابن اختي وجع فامسح رسول الله وسلم راسي ودعاني ببركه وتوضا فشربت من وضوئه وقمت على خلف ظهره فنظرت الى الخاتم بين كتفيه اذا هو مثل زر الحاجه له.
Sayyid ibn Yazid said,
Sa'id ibn Yazid, he was a Madani, he This man remembers the Prophet in his Hajj. قال حج بي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حج بي أبي مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنا ابن 7 سنين. He said, I was 7 when my dad took me to Hajj with the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم went to Hajj in year 10. Hajj al-Wada. He made one Hajj صلى الله عليه وسلم. I'm saying what we have to do one year, inshallah, is to do a workshop on the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ. I collected so much about the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ that is so amazing. From the moment he intended to make Hajj until the moment he came back. With stories you cannot imagine, with events you cannot imagine, with fiqh you cannot imagine. Amazing.
Couple hours maybe, Sheikh?
It would be probably a workshop of 2 days or one full day.
Yeah.
One full day, probably for 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. That would be a workshop of just the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ. He has spiritual things, he has things about relationship, he has stories that are funny, he has things that are with his wives, because his wives went to Hajj with him. Amazing, the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ, the details about the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ, you'll be shocked about how much there is about the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ. Right? Fiqh, tarbiyah, suluk, hadith, Quran, history, everything in the Hajj of the Prophet ﷺ. So, inshallah, 1 year, inshallah, probably next year, inshallah, we'll do it in the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, inshallah.
Yeah,
Maybe
inshallah.
next month, inshallah.
Huh?
Maybe next month, inshallah.
Next what? Next month. Next month, I hope, inshallah. I can't. I did Morocco.
Inshallah, yes. I like the idea, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, just, I'd love to, I've never done it before. I'd love, if it's meant, the first place we do it is this place, inshallah. But I have material ready. In fact, I'm thinking about writing a book about it, inshallah. Please keep us in dua. But by the time we get it, inshallah, we do it, the book will be done, inshallah. But the whole material is ready. Seriously, I worked on it for some time, and the whole thing is ready. Inshallah, ask Allah.
So you're in Morocco and then coming back in September?
No, I'm coming back at the end of June. I'm going at the end of May. Yeah, we can do it in September. Yeah.
September, October is good.
Yeah, inshallah.
Beginning of the school year.
Inshallah. Yeah, so it's so spiritual.
Inshallah.
It's so much seerah, and so much you have no idea of the Hajj of the Prophet. Some details, so much detail about Islam. So this man said, Hajj bi Rasulullah, I was the Prophet, my dad took me to Hajj when I was 7. Now, don't you ever undermine what kids can remember at the age of a very small age. So pay attention to what you do with your children because they remember every single thing. Get them to be in an experience that is spiritual. Get them to be in experiences that the scholars of hadith, they talk about tahammul. I'm going to be technical here a little bit. What's tahammul? Tahammul is when a person, tahammul is the criteria of the students of hadith to receive hadith. Okay? To receive the hadith. There is ada, which is to deliver the hadith from the scholars of hadith. There are conditions for the ada. There are conditions for tahammul. Tahammul is one of the topics that they talk about in hadith is what is the age appropriate that we can consider somebody had heard the hadith and we can narrate. What is the age appropriate? Most of the scholars, the early generation, they think that 8 years, 9 years, and some people say a little bit more. Some people say if it's 10 years or less, 7 years. If it's 8 years, it has to, or 9 years, it has to be a mature 8 years, a mature 9 years. If they hear hadith, we can hear from them. If somebody heard hadith from a scholar at the age of 8 and delivered it, and they have all the conditions of authenticity, we accept it from them. Later generation of hadith, they start lowering that. They lowered it. 2, 3 years, 3 years. They used to bring the children of 3 years to attend the hadith, to attend the sama'at, that when the scholars are reciting Bukhari, reciting Muslim, reciting and reading them, they bring their kids and and they write it down as among the people who attended those sessions, right? So those people later on can say, Ibn Hajar or this scribe or this, I heard the scholar, or I attended the hadith, and so on. So imagine the barakah of attending the majalis of hadith, of Sahih Bukhari, and so on and so forth, right? So they used to bring their children for those, right? So this man in here, he said, I remember when the Prophet ﷺ, my dad took me with the Prophet ﷺ to his Hajj, right? So what did he say in here?
My maternal aunt took me to the Prophet ﷺ, and she said, O Messenger of Allah, my sister's son is in pain. He therefore stroked my head. Sallallahu
So why the Prophet was not a doctor. He was not a healer in the sense like a technical healer, but what are we talking about here? He was the destination of all their issues, and all their hopes, and all their stuff with Prophet. They go to the Prophet and say, if Sayyidina Umar was a grown up man and would go to Sayyidina Rasulullah because he's hungry, why wouldn't other people come to him for all kind of things? When people get sick, they come to the Prophet. Well, some people say, well, that's beside the Tawheed. That's the real Tawheed. That's the real Tawheed. These people are not, they come to the Prophet to intercede for them from Allah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't come to the Prophet because he's the one who does. Because of his status with Allah ta'ala. Right? Because of his status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with Allah ta'ala, that they come to him and he make dua for them and so on. So we do have to have tawassul of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? If you don't agree with it, that's fine, but don't make it haram. Don't make it shirk. It's not. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? Right? So,
he therefore stroked my head, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and supplicated blessings for my sake. He performed a minor ritual ablution, wudu. I drank from his ablution water and stood behind his back.
People used to drink from his ablution water all the time. Their sense of, modernity would love to make us feel that, oh, this is you. He drink from his. No. Everything about him was pure, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And people would fight for the remainder of his wudu. They would fight for whatever the Prophet touched. Wudu, and so they would fight for it. These are grown up men and women fighting for. We're going to see what the ladies of the Ansar used to do for the things that the Prophet touched. They considered the idea of the barakah of Rasulullah was big in their lives. It's something that the literal Islam wants to take away from us. It wants no, the Prophet's barakah is beyond any other barakah. And we have to seek it in every single thing. We have to seek it, and we have to, right? We have to share from it, even though he's not physically with us, right? So,
I drank from his ablution water and stood behind his back, whereupon I observed the seal between his shoulders, and lo and behold, it was like the button of a bridal canopy.
It was a protruded piece of flesh, surrounded by hair. Right? That's the seal of prophethood. And some people say it has some illumination in it. It has some light in it. Just between his shoulders there is a protruded piece of flesh surrounded by hair. And everybody described it from his vantage point. Some people just touched it. Describe what they touched. Some people saw it, describe what they saw. Some people saw it from the side, they describe what they saw. That's why you see multiple narrations about the seal of prophethood. All the prophets have that seal of prophethood, right? حدثنا سعيد بن يعقوب قال حدثنا ايوب بن جابر عن سماك بن حرب عن جابر بن سمره قال رايت الخاتم بين كتفي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم غدة حمراء مثل غيرة الحمام. Almost the same hadith, right? حدثنا ابو مصعب المديني اخبرنا يزيد بن ماجشون عن ابي عن عاصم بن عمر عن قتادة عن جدته رميثة قالت سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولو شاء ان اقبل الخاتم الذي بين كتفيه من قربه لفعلت يقول سعد بن معاذ وما تهتزله عرش الرحمن.
Asim ibn Umar ibn Qatada, on the authority of Asim ibn Umar ibn Qatada, that his grandmother Rumaytha said,
Rumaytha from Muhajirat, you will be amazed to know that so many ladies made migration on their own. Seriously, so many of them from the elite of Quraysh, They arranged all their travel they arranged every single thing, and they migrated on their own. They ran away to the Prophet ﷺ with their Islam. Durra bint Abi Lahab, the daughter of Abu Lahab. Her name is Durra. Look at Durra bint Abi Lahab and see. Was 19 or 20. She made all the plan on her own. She hired somebody to guide her, and she traveled to the Prophet ﷺ migrant. Right? The daughter of Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt as well. Forgot her name. The daughter of Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt is one of the most recalcitrant leaders of Quraysh, the kafir of the kafirs. You know what I mean? The head of the kuffars in Quraysh was Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, right? He was to harm the Prophet ﷺ, he was to throw garbage on him and so on and so forth. His daughter became Muslim, arranged her travel, and she traveled to the Prophet ﷺ on her own. And that's what Allah Ta'ala said in Surah, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مُؤْمِنَاتٌ مُهَاجِرَاتٍ فَامْتَحِنُوهُنَّ. Surah Mumtahina is about if the women came to you from making hijrah, then this is what you do. Allah Ta'ala said, this is what you do with them. Right? And the Prophet ﷺ, at the time we had a deal with Quraysh, right, Hudaybiyah, that anybody Muslim comes in, the Prophet should return him back. He did not return women. The men were returned, the women, none of them was returned. Right? It's just for you to know. So this one in here was from the Muhajirat. She did bay'ah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was from the Muhajirat, from the early ones.
She said, I heard Allah's Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and if I wished to kiss the steel between his shoulders, I would do so because of his nearness. Say to Sa'd ibn Mu'adh on the day he died, the throne of Rahman was shaken on his account.
She said, I was with Prophet when he came to bear farewell to Sayyidina Sa'd ibn Mu'adh. Sayyidina Sa'd ibn Mu'adh was the head of one of the biggest clan of Al-Aws, right? Banu al-Ashhad, right? And Sayyidina Sa'd radiallahu ta'ala was very beloved to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was hit by an arrow in Al-Ahzab. Ahzab happened when? Year 6, right? Year 6 Al-Ahzab happened. The battle of Ahzab happened in year 6, right? So Ahzab happened, the Prophet so he was hit in his shoulder and there was blood coming out, and he said, oh Allah, before I died, he knew he was going to die because he had an infection. It started becoming, so he knew. He said, oh Allah, before you make me die, let me see what's going to happen to Banu Qurayza. Why Banu Qurayza? Because Banu Qurayza were treacherous. The Prophet had a deal with them. Banu Qurayza is the last fortress of Jews in Medina. So how many Jews settlements were in Medina? There were 3. First one was Banu Qurayza. The one that the Prophet took kick out, the first one to kick out of Medina was what? Banu Qurayza happened when? After Badr. Right after Badr, right? They plotted against the Prophet and he kicked him out. Banu Qurayza. The second one is Banu Nadir. Banu Nadir happened when? Remember, these are anytime there are events that tie up to each other, always. The big event, and around that event there are probably 10, 15 events that tie up to that. Right? I'll give you an example later on, inshallah. The kicking of Banu Nadir of Medina happened right after Uhud. So remember, Banu Qurayza happened, when? After Badr, after the battle of Badr. Banu Nadir was kicked out when? Right after Uhud. Does it make sense? And Banu Qurayza were kicked out when? Well, no, they were not kicked out. They were exterminated. When?
After Ahzab.
After Ahzab. After Ahzab. Why? Why they were? Because they were treacherous. The Prophet when he came to Medina, he had a treaty with them that they would together defend Medina from whoever is raiding it or attacking it. And they had allegiance together that they would defend Medina from, they were one ummah against anybody who coming to raid Medina. And Banu Qurayza, they were clients of, they were not settled in Medina except with the help and with the assistance of the Arabs in there, the tribes in there. The tribe that gave them that protection is the clan of Sidna Sa'd bin Mu'adh. So he was his clients. They were people that under his protection, right? They stayed there for years, for decades, and they are there, generations, and they are there. When the Prophet ﷺ built the Khandaq, there was no other way to attack Medina except from the area of Banu Qurayza. So Quraysh and its allies came to them and they said, we'll give you this and we'll give you that if you allow us to come out from your side and attack the Prophet from behind. And they thought about it a little bit. Huyay was a criminal, right? And he came to, he lured them and they said yes. And they were about to open the south of Medina to be attacked, the north of Medina, or the side of Medina to be attacked by Quraysh. So the Prophet will be attacked from behind while he is in the Khandaq. Imagine, he's facing the Mushrikeen, and then from behind him, there will be an army coming and destroy the whole thing. They will, before they get to the Khandaq, they will go to Medina, they will kill the children, they will take the wives and the children, all of that with them, and then they will come behind them. So Medina will be open completely. Right? And they tried. And only with the will of Allah Ta'ala that a Muslim came in. What's his name? Nu'aym bin Mas'ud. Is it? Nu'aym bin Mas'ud came from Tihama. He was a leader of Tihama. Tihama is the eastern side the western side of Arabia at that time. And he came to the Prophet of Islam as a new Muslim. And the Prophet, he said, "Oh, Rasulullah, you can utilize me in here. I can do something for you, just utilize me." He said, "You know what? Whatever you can do it. We're in a pickle here. We are in a pickle here. However you want to utilize your smartness and so, go ahead." And this is the beauty of the Prophet ﷺ. He delegates. He delegates, but you know what? When he delegates, the people he delegates to are, sorry for a better word, they are for lack of better word, honestly, they're killers. He delegates to you, he gets things done, right? That's it. The Prophet says, not go back and review behind you. You do it, that's it, right? And you do it on the highest level. And he doesn't have to tell him what to do. The Prophet did not tell him anything to do. He made dua for him and he left. And he created a difference between Quraysh and Banu Qurayza, and he made them distrust each other, and the whole deal of allowing the Prophet to come in fell apart. And now the Ahzab left. I'm cutting the whole story short. Ahzab left, and Banu Qurayza are lame duck. They are lame duck. That's it. They are there for the Prophet ﷺ. It's like, now, okay, you opened us for us. They actually attacked some of the settlements of the Muslims. They actually attacked Banu Qurayza. So Sidna Sa'd bin Mu'adh was angry at them. Here we go. We've protected you for a long time. We had a deal with you, right? And I'm going to die. And he prayed to Allah. He pleaded to Allah Ta'ala, oh Allah. He pled to Allah Ta'ala, oh Allah. Don't make me die until I really, my anger of Banu Qurayza needs to come out. And it needs to be satisfied. I need to see what's going to happen to Banu Qurayza. So the Prophet had him in the masjid. After he was injured, he had him in the masjid, and there was a lady in the masjid taking care of him. He had a tent inside the masjid, and the lady was taking care of him, nursing him. The moment Banu Qurayza happened, the Prophet had a siege in them, came from Ahzab, he was taking a shower, he took his helmet, he took his shield from Ahzab. You have to understand, Ahzab was tough. They were hungry, they were cold, it was tough. So and they were camping in there for a long time. Prophet didn't see his family for a long time, so he came back to Allah, tired and exhausted. And he took his helmet, he took off that, and he took his shower, and he came out of the shower, and Jibreel shows up with the angels. They're all wearing their helmets, they're all ready to fight. He said, where? He said, the Jibreel told him, the Prophet said, he said, you put your helmet out in your shield. We did not. The Prophet knew that there must be some fight going on. Where do you want me to go? He said, he gestured to Banu Qurayza. He He wore a thing, he said, nobody prays Asr except in Banu Qurayza. Everybody has to go to Banu Qurayza. The Sahaba put out their stuff again from one battle to another battle. This is their life like it was. We want Islam to be comfortable, so comfortable, right? Right? So they all got to Banu Qurayza. They sieged them for some time and then they gave in. Right? They gave in. There's a lot of stories in the siege. A lot of stories that happen in the siege. At the end of the day, they say, we will not accept your ruling on Muhammad. We'll accept the ruling of our client. Who is their client? Sa'd bin Mu'adh. He's the head of that tribe. So they said, okay, they took his delegation and they went to the masjid where Sayyidina Sa'd is. And the Prophet told them, bring your leader. They brought the leader, they told the Sahaba to stand up to Sa'd bin Mu'adh, stand up to him. People, don't stand up to people. They say, don't stand up to the elders, don't stand up to your scholars, don't stand up to your imams. When you're sitting and they're coming, you stand up to them, stand up to your parents, stand up to the people in Fadl. The Prophet made the Sahaba stand up to who? To Sa'd bin Mu'adh. قوموا لسيدكم. Sahih Bukhari. This is all in Sahih Bukhari. Nothing in here I'm telling you. Most of it is just in Sahih. قوموا لسيدكم. Stand up to your leader. They stood up to him, they honored him, and he said to them, and the Prophet said, the ruling on Banu Qurayza is on you. You make the ruling on them, because they said we're not accepting the ruling of anybody. It's not the Prophet who ruled on them, it was Sa'd bin Mu'adh, and he ruled on them, the Prophet said, you ruled on them of the ruling of Allah Ta'ala from 7 firmaments, from above 7 firmaments. لَقَدْ حَكَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِحُكْمِ اللَّهِ مِنْ فَوْقِ 7 سَمَاوَاتٍ. Right? You have ruled over them the way, right? So that's it. Banu Qurayza was dealt with. The night after that night, the injury of Sa'd bin Mu'adh started coming out of blood.
What did he rule?
He ruled for their money to be taken, for their houses to be destroyed, for their fighters to be killed, for their people who did not become Muslim, for their children to be taken, and for their that's the rule. There is a PhD in that Orientalists make a big deal about this. Oh, look, the Prophet killed more than 400 people, he was 700 people. When this, he's bloody thirsty, and so on and so forth. Like, they make a big deal about Banu Qurayza. You'll find the Orientalists are all over, like flies on a, you know what I mean? Like flies on a something, you know what I'm talking about, right? On a smelly thing, just like that. They jump on it, right? I'm coming. So, right? They jump on look at the Prophet who was bloody thirsty and so on and so forth, right? He's a guy, I don't remember, it's been a while, right? This is a long time. When I was doing my PhD, I read this guy's PhD. It's been a long time, right? So the guy at the University of Chicago wrote a PhD detailing Muslim media, detailing exactly from the historical sources that Prophet Islam did not kill more than 20 people. Yeah. And those are the most recalcitrants off and so something like that, right? So something like that. 20 probably is too much, but something like that, right? Anyhow, right? How many executions happened in America? How many people were killed in Iraq? Nobody can come and tell us that our Prophet is violent. Don't you ever apologize to the Prophet. Oh no, we're not violent. You know, when the people start saying that oh, you guys are jihad and this and that, go to the attack. Don't go to the defense. Don't say, oh no, we're peaceful. No, don't go there. Don't you ever apologize to the Prophet. Don't you ever find yourself trying to apologize for the Prophet. The Prophet is above being suspicion. You go to the attack. Tell them they're Christian, they're Jews. Look at their Old Testament. They're Jews, look at the Old Testament. Tell me, just close your eyes and open a page. You'll find that some killing of villages and burning them, and burning animals and burning babies and so on and so on in the Old Testament. They don't have to just open it and see. Just open it and find all of that in there, right? In the New Testament, in the New Testament, you have no idea how violent that thing is. Oh my gosh, right? Among a lot of things, among so many stuff, right? But just there, in the red ink. Red ink is what Jesus said. The Bible that has the red ink. You know what I'm talking about? King James, right? And the red ink is what Jesus actually said. Look what Jesus said, right? I haven't come with peace. Much for the peace. Look, the Prince of Peace, the Prince of Peace. This is what Jesus says. I haven't come with peace. I came with a sword. I came to separate the mother from her daughter, and the father from his son. I came for the killing. This is the Jesus. I'm saying, go check it out. Don't believe me. Check it out. Right? Put violence in the Bible, killing in the Bible, New Testament, and you'll have all of that. And he says, don't buy, whoever doesn't have a sword, sell a cloak and buy a sword. Right? Bring all the kings of the world and slaughter them and slay them under my feet. Right? It was a time I went to this evangelical university in the second biggest evangelical university in America, right? Or the third, right? Johnson University, right? In the suburbs of Knoxville, right? It's a big one, and there are some really good people in there. One Christian, they have a good relationship with them. So there's this professor, he's a good guy, really good guy. He invites me to his class, and I said, you made a big mistake. I'm not the right person. Instead, Zainab is the right person. Like Instead, Zainab Ansari, the one with TC with us, is the right person for this. She's excellent, mashallah. I am not the right person for this. But he insisted on me to go to his class. And I went to his class, huge class like this. And it happens that, the same morning somebody killed, I don't know, probably 25 people in one of those school killing. It was all over the place. It was, right? So we stopped to pray for those guys and so on and so forth. So one of the questions, I talked for 15 minutes about Islam and so on. I never mentioned that we are peace, that nonsense. I'm not apologizing for anything that's right? So one of those guys told me, what about jihad and the killing of people, the killing of innocents, and so on and so forth? Right? It's a very good question. Thank you so much. I agree with you. Islam is very valid. This is what Muhammad said. This is what Muhammad said, right? And I quoted to him this. I said to him, just what Jesus said. Actually, it's like this is Muhammad. This is what Muhammad said. Muhammad said, I didn't come with peace. I come with a sword. I came to separate this and separate that. And so I brought like 3, 4, 5 verses from the Bible that talks about killing, right? And the professor, he started laughing. He knows what I'm talking about. But they did not, right? So I said, yeah, I agree with you. So we went to talk a little bit and say, this is what happened. And when people see what you hear, it is what it is. We all have to reform. So it's like, and then I stopped and it was like, hold on one second, I'm really sorry. Do you know what I said? It's actually Jesus. It's not Muhammad. He had no idea that white boy became so red. So red. It's like, this is not Muhammad. I said, it is Jesus. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me? So I said to him, so much for the Prince of Peace. So much for the Prince of Peace. Right? So, but I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me we have interpretation for those things, right? I said Christianity everywhere went with the sword. There is no place on earth that Christianity went on peacefully. Period. There are multiple books written about Islam spreading in most of the world by peace. Right? Not written by Muslims, by the way. Go ahead. Check it out. So how is it that? I said, what's going on with you white people? Sorry for I said to him, what's going on? I said, what's going on with you white people? You're all killers. Look at you. Look at you. Today you killed 25 people. Yesterday, all of the killing that happened in schools is all white people. What's going on with you white people? What's going on with you? What is it about you that allowed this to happen? Killing. What's going on? From Columbine until now, all the killing is white people. Am I right?
Yes.
He said, right. I said, how do you like generalization? How do you like generalization? See what I'm telling you? All feel uncomfortable right now. You're all comfortable. You're all white people. There's only one black person. How uncomfortable you feel right now that I'm attacking you with this. You feel this is unjustified. You feel that it doesn't tell you who, it doesn't consider the differences. Those white people don't represent you. Imagine that our kids hear this on Fox News, the one that you like and your parents like, right? Every single day they hear this about Muslims that they are killers and so on and so on and so on. How do you like this? Right? You felt uncomfortable for 20 minutes that I'm speaking right now. What about us who are feeling uncomfortable for decades now? Huh? Any sympathy? Okay, hold on 1 second. I told him, Wallahi, exactly what I'm telling you. I told him, look, listen. Your parents and you voted for Bush. Bush killed, this is how many people he killed. We have no idea how many Iraqis were killed in Iraq. So no idea. Right? Millions that been killed in Iraq. We care about the soldiers. How many people were killed in Iraq? For a lie, for lives. Right? I'm here. Who wants to apologize to me? I'll take your apologies. Go ahead, guys.
Make a line.
Make a line. I said, please, go ahead. I'll accept your apology. Come on. I'll accept your apology. Anybody wants to apologize for the white people? Anybody wants to apologize for America? Anybody wants to apologize for anybody? Right? Quiet. Quiet. Cricket. Right? But this is the funny part. This is the funniest part.
Oh, it gets worse.
It gets, right? You know, at the end of the semester, Brent, the professor, sent me a survey. They had 3 guest speakers. They rated me as as the best. The best guest speaker is the one who slapped them around. The one who slapped them around, right? So I said, I'm not good at it. You know, I'm not good at this. You make, you know, I get, you know, but my idea is that you never apologize for the Prophet. My way was not a good way. It's not a good way. It's offensively good. It's really it gets to the skins of people. It gets to the skin. And I don't like it, but I want them to feel uncomfortable for a moment. Not out of spite or out of hatred, no. But they need to feel what Muslims are feeling on a daily basis for a long time. They need to feel that, right? So, and that's why I'm not the right person to do this. They need a gentle approach. And that gentle approach will work better. But sometimes they need to feel that. So, this is what. So she said, Sidna Hassan ibn Mu'adh, when he passed away, he went to Sidna Rasulullah. He was about to pass away when his injury started bleeding. There is a hadith of the Prophet hugged him, and the blood is coming out of the beard of the Prophet. And he said to the Sahaba, take him to his house, he's going to die. He took him to his house. The moment they dropped him, he passed away. The Prophet went back to his house, small room, and he was tiptoeing in the room. This lady was so close to him. She was behind him, so close to him. She said, I was so close to him that if I want to touch the seer of Prophet, I will touch him. I heard him say, the throne of the merciful had been shaken or shook by excitement and happiness with the homecoming of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh. That's what the hadith means now. الاهتزاز هنا الاهتزاز مرتبة من مراتب الفرح. Right? الاهتزاز is a degree. Shaking here is I was shook by happiness, or I was shook by, you know what I mean? So that's what it meant. It meant that the throne of the merciful means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was so happy with the homecoming of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh. That's what the hadith means. She was so close to him that if she wants to touch the seal, she would have touched it. Right? We'll stop in 3 minutes inshallah. حدثنا أحمد بن عبد الطبي وعلي بن حجر وغير واحد قال حدثنا عيسى بن سعد عمر بن عبد الله مولى غفرة رضي الله تعالى عنها قال حدثني ابراهيم بن محمود بن علي بن ابي طالب قال على كان علي من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الحديث وقال بين كتفي خاتم النبوة وخاتم النبيين. This hadith before. حدثنا محمد بن بشار أنبأنا أبو عاصم أنبأنا عزرة بن ثابت حدثني عن باب بن محمد قال حدثني أبو زيد عمرو بن أخطب الأنصاري قال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أبا زيد كنت مني فامسح ظهري فمسحت ظهره ووقعت أصابعي على الخاتم قلت وما الخاتم؟ قال شعرات مجتمعات. This man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet told him, "Oh, Abu Zayd, come scratch or stroke my back." You know, the Prophet was like a father to me, was a young man. He said, "Papa, he came to me to scratch my back, right? Come scratch my back." You know, our parents used to do that. My dad used to do that. Said, "Okay, come scratch my back, or come, walk on when I was young. Come walk on my legs, so I can just massage my legs with my body, and something like that, right?" So he was like a father to them. He said, come, I'm really sorry, you raised your hand a long time ago, and I forgot. I'm really, really, really sorry. I was overtaken by this that moment I forgot. Please, go ahead. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. Inshallah, write it down next time. So he said, stroke my back or scratch my back. So I did that, and I touched the seal of prophethood. Right? They say, what is the seal of the prophet? He said, intertwined hair. Intertwined. So this is his vantage point. He didn't see it, but he touched it. He touched this area in which it has hair in it. حدثنا أبو عمار حسين بن حريث حدثنا خزاعي حدثنا علي بن حسين الواقفي حدثني أبي حدثني عبد الله بن بريدة قال سمعت أبي بريدة يقول ما شاء الله we have a guest in here إن شاء الله we'll finish this hadith إن شاء الله finish this chapter quickly we really came right at time with break right إن شاء الله حدثنا جاء قال يقول جاء سلمان الفارسي إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حين قريب من مدينة المدينة عليها رقى فوضعها بين يدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال يا سلمان ما هذا؟ فقال صدقة عليك وعلى أصحابك فقال ارفعها فإن لنا به الصدقة قال فرفعها فجاء القلب بمثله فوضعه بين يدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ما هذا يا سلمان؟ قال هديت لك فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لأصحابه ابسطوا ثم نظر إلى الخاتم على ظهر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فنام وكان اليهود اشتراه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بكذا وكذا منهم على ان يغسل له نخله فيعمل سلمان فيه حتى يطعم فغرس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نخله الا نخله واحده غرسها عمر فحملت النخل من عامها ولم تحمل النخله فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما شأن هذه النخله؟ فقال عمر يا رسول الله انا غرستها فنزعها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فغرسها فحملت من عامها.
Abu Buraida says, Salman al-Farsi brought Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Was not his name, it was an Arabized name. His name is not Han, son of that. It was a Persian, his name is not Salman. Salman was given to him. The Prophet saying a lot, it was given to him by the Arabs when he came to Arabia. His name was not
when he reached Medina, a table with ripe dates on it, and he placed it in front of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Salman, you know, the speaker of the truth, he knew that Prophet is going to come. Alright, he knew from his interaction with the priests and the rahibs, right? The priests and what do you call them?
Monks.
The monks, right? And the monks so he knew the description of the Prophet ﷺ. He knew he was going to be in a place that has palm trees and so on, a growing place, right? And when he was captured and enslaved, he found himself enslaved in Medina. A lot of times, the khair that comes to you, the khair that Allah Ta'ala wants to give you, the muqaddimat of that khair, the introduction to that khair may not please you. May not please you. It will be bad to the goodness in ways that are not pleasant, in ways you cannot expect. Who expects that Salman al-Farsi is going to become enslaved and he's a prince and so on and so forth? But the good thing for him is that he was enslaved. The best thing that happened to him is that because he was enslaved, he's not going to go anywhere. He's captivated, he's going to stick there until the Prophet comes in. The only way that if he went to Medina before the Prophet came in, he would look in there, the Prophet is not there, he was left. Right? Or be killed by the Jews, or whatever happened to him. But the moment he was enslaved, guess what? He's there, safe. Even though it's not comfortable, but he's there. And the Prophet is going to be there. Right? And he was waiting. When is that going to happen? He doesn't even know that, right? So the whole thing, you can imagine. But some of the signs that the monks have given him is that the Prophet accepts the gifts and does not accept charity, and the Prophet can see the Prophet between his shoulders. Right? So he's going to try the Prophet. The first day, he's hanging out with his companions. Sayyidina Salman comes in and put a platter in front of them. He said to Sayyidina Salman, the Prophet said, you. So he's like, Muslim, what is this? He said, it's the sadaqah to you. Trying, this is charity to you. Normally what the Prophet does, when charity comes in, he said, charity is not for us, the family of the Prophet, the household of the Prophet. Eat. You guys go ahead and eat. But he wants to make it so clear. Right? Inconclusive. Right? Like clear, right? Clear. He said, Salman, take it, we don't eat sadaqah. He could have said, I don't eat sadaqah, go ahead and eat it. He said, no, we don't eat sadaqah. He took it, he got the message. Next day he brought the same thing. Prophet hanging out his companions, brought that thing in there, put it in there, he said, oh, Allah, this is what is this, God? This is a gift to you. So the Prophet said, Ubsutu, come in, let's eat. Right? While they were eating, he's observing the Prophet from behind, trying to see how can I see the legacy of Prophet. The Prophet had what? Had his rida on him, had his cover, had his cloak on him, his rida is a piece of cloth on his shoulders. When he sees Salman face, he's looking for it, what did he do? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? He dropped it. He dropped it. Then Salman face went to him and he hugged him and he cried and he cried and he cried. Because he saw the seal of Prophet. This is what I was looking for. This is the journey. My journey found its destination. He found the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he was a slave. And the Prophet is going to free him. He went to his master and he said, what do you want for Salman? And of course, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? He's going to gauge the price to a huge number. And the Prophet said, whatever you want for Salman. He paid tremendous amount of money for Salman. Whatever the Jews. But then the guy did not want just money. He wants to take advantage of the Prophet. We're stopping here. They take advantage more. He said, well, I take the money and he needs to plant these 300 palm tree sprouts and work in them until they bear fruit and then he can go. How long it takes? This is not California days in here, right? It takes 6 years for them, 5 years to bear fruit. So he's going to be enslaved after he took the money, 5 years enslavement until he become. So the Prophet said, don't touch those sprouts. Nobody touch those sprouts. I'm going to plant them. And he sat down to Allah and he planted them with his hand, with his blessed hand. 300 of them, 299 of them planted by the Prophet. You know how strenuous and hard that work is? 299 by himself. Right? And only one was planted by Sayyidina Umar. Okay? All of them bear fruit in that year, except that one that Sayyidina Umar had planted. And he said, Prophet said, what happened to that? Sayyidina Umar said, Allah planted it. Prophet took it out, replanted it, and it bear fruit short after that. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Anything for Sayyidina Salman. Whatever it takes for Sayyidina Salman. Whatever it takes. Even if the Prophet will work, whatever. When you have talent, when you have people who can carry your da'wah, when people who can carry your community, whatever it takes whatever it takes for them to be happy and to be work for the community, give it to them. Why do talented people go all over the places and don't want to work with the Muslim community? We just fired an imam, not one from here, a great imam, one of the greatest imam. Why do we do that? Why do we short-sighted people are leading the communities a lot of times? Because they're not prophetic, because they don't know how the Prophet led. They don't know how to invest in people. Sayyidina Salman faced whatever it takes. Right? And this is something that we pay attention to. We stop here, inshallah.
Allah يبارك فيكم إن شاء الله. Yeah, inshallah now, we'll do adhan. After adhan, 5 minutes, inshallah, you can pray sunnah, and then we'll pray maybe, inshallah, maximum 140, iqam al-lubli, biiznillah, and then you don't have to move the chairs, leave it as is, because we need just 3 rows. Yeah, just this one.
Khalid is here.
Yes.
Khalid is here.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الله أشهد أن